This is Radio Nepal. I am Dila Prasai with the news. The headlines first. Presidential candidates Ramchandra Paudel and Subhash Chandra Nembang busy asking for votes in their favour. Deputy Prime Minister Narayan Shrestha leading Nepali delegation to least developed countries conference in Doha of Qatar. Nepal secures place at ICC Under-19 World Cup defeating UAE. And US and Russia trade blows over Ukraine at G20 talks in Delhi. Now the news in detail. Presidential candidates Ramchandra Paudel and Subhash Chandra Nembang are seen busy in meeting leaders asking for votes in their favour. Nepali Congress leader Paudel is the common candidate of 8-party alliance, while Nembang is the candidate of the CPN-UML, vice chairperson of the CPN-UML, and presidential candidate Nembang met a CPN Unified Socialist chairman Madhav Kumar Nepal yesterday. Chairman Nepal's personal secretary Mohan Gautam said Nembang and CPN-UML leaders met former Prime Minister Nepal and asked for support in the presidential election. However, CPN Unified Socialist has already decided to support Paudel. Likewise, the delegation of UML leaders urged the Rashtriya Swatantra Party to support Subhash Chandra Nembang in the presidential election. Talking to media persons after the meeting, General Secretary of Rashtriya Swatantra Party, Mukul Thakal, said they would make a decision after discussing the matters in the party. The president's election is taking place on the 9th of March. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachanda says consensus candidacy of Nepali Congress leader Ramchandra Paudel for the presidential election itself is a message of national unity. Prime Minister's remark came in an orientation program organized for the House of Representatives and National Assembly members from 8 political parties in view of the presidential election in Kathmandu. Also, CPN Maoist Centre chairman Prime Minister Dahal said his party decided to seek a new political equation following the January 10 statement of chair of the then ruling alliance CPN-UML in a session of the House of Representatives. Likewise, Nepali Congress President Sherbatu Deuba urged the leaders to make Ramchandra Paudel victorious in the presidential election for his dedication and contribution to the country. He also assured that leadership of leader Paudel would be a key for political stability, as he is a main man of principle and political ideals. Similarly, presidential candidate Paudel vowed to follow the constitutional provision in words and spirit. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Physical Infrastructure and Transport Narayan Shrestha is leaving for Doha of Qatar today to take part in the Conference of the Least Developed Countries. According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Deputy Prime Minister will be leading a Nepali delegation to the 5th United Nations Conference on the Least Developed Countries to be held in Doha from 5th to 9th March. Prior to the event, the Deputy Prime Minister will also address the summit of the Least Developed Countries group to be held on the 4th of March. Nepal is scheduled to take the chairmanship of the group of Least Developed Countries this year. President Vidyadevi Bhandari has directed the concerned stakeholders to intensify the construction of roads linking to China and India. Inaugurating the Turkey exhibition program organized in Dolakha yesterday, President Bhandari said the construction of roads linking the neighbouring countries must not be delayed. She also reminded that although announcement was made to set up a film city of international standard in Dolakha, there were no works at all to this regard. The government has added 5 more locations for receiving applications for the National Identity Card. The decision follows the concerns of Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachanda over the public complaints for a delayed procedure for issuing the card. According to Department of National Identity Card and Civil Registration, besides the district administration offices in Kathmandu and Lalitpur, application for the card can be made from the Narayan Hiti Palace premises, National City Hall and the department premises itself. Nepal has secured its place at the ICC Under-19 World Cup, defeating the UAE by 7 runs in the decisive match held yesterday. Nepal will now play on the Under-19 World Cup to be hosted in Sri Lanka next year. Nepal will be playing the World Cup after 8 years. In the match held yesterday in the UAE, Nepal lost the toss and were invited to bat first by the host team. Nepal then collected 191 runs in 48.5 overs, losing all wickets. Captain Deb Khanal collected the highest 51 runs for Nepal. However, while chasing the target of 192 runs, the UAE were all out in the 48 overs. For the Nepali bowling side, Dipesh Kandel took 5 wickets with a hat-trick in the 48th over that confirmed Nepal's victory. You are listening to Radio Nepal 8 a.m. English News Bulletin. We continue with the international updates now. Tensions over Russia's war in Ukraine have dominated G20 talks in Delhi, even after Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi urged foreign ministers to put aside their divisions. A BBC report quotes U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken as saying the meeting was marred by Russia's unprovoked and unjustified war. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov accused the West of barring a deal to allow some Ukrainian grain exports. Earlier, the Indian Prime Minister spoke for developing nations, saying those present had a responsibility to them. The G20, which includes the world's 19 wealthiest nations plus the European Union, accounts for 85% of global economic output and 2/3 of its population. Protests have erupted in Greece over the rail crash which killed at least 56 people, with many seeing it as an accident that had been waiting to happen. As reported by the BBC, rioters clashed with police outside the headquarters of Hellenic Train in Athens, the company responsible for maintaining Greece railways. Protests were also held in Thessaloniki and the city of Larissa, near where the disaster happened on Tuesday night. The government has said an independent investigation will deliver justice. Now the general weather forecast for the country for today. Forecasting division says the weather is likely to be partly to generally cloudy in the hilly and mountainous areas of Koshi Province, Bagmati Province and Gandaki Province, and mainly fair in the rest of the country. Light rain or thunder and lightning is likely to occur at 1 or 2 places of Koshi Province, Bagmati Province and Gandaki Province. Kathmandu's weather report now. Maximum temperature of 24.9 degrees Celsius and minimum temperature of 7.4 degrees Celsius. With this news, we have come to the end of this bulletin, but before we wrap up the headlines once again. Presidential candidates Ramchandra Paudel and Subhash Chandra Nembang be seen asking for votes in their favour. Deputy Prime Minister Narayan Kaji Shrestha leading Nepali delegation to least developed countries conference in Doha of Qatar. Nepal secures place at ICC Under-19 World Cup, defeating UAE, and US and Russia trade blows over Ukraine at G20 talks in Delhi. Well, that's all that we have for this edition. Our next English news edition is at 2 in the afternoon. You can also listen to us online at our website www.radionepal.gov.np for more news and online programs. Stay tuned, stay safe and have a good day.